Friends, welcome to your yoga practice. It is Wednesday, January 8th. Since it's Wednesday, we do have a chance to stay for a bit of meditation after our movement practice. Today, we'll be returning to metta, loving kindness, so cultivating compassion and loving kindness for ourselves and others through our meditation practice. Let's go ahead and begin today reclined on our back. So I feel like especially with these morning practices, that's a nice way to kind of drop in. So let's go ahead and come onto the spine. You can keep your feet on the ground, knees bent, and let's go ahead and stretch the arms out as wide as feels good to you and as wide as is available to you in your space. So if you don't have much space available, another option is to bend your elbows or even stretch your arms up overhead so you're kind of all on the yoga mat. As always, we just do what we can. We work with what we've got, and we don't even have to be mad about it. All right, and here, let's start noticing our breath. Remembering that if it ever feels uncomfortable to notice the breath, then when you hear me say that, you can just shift your attention to what you're feeling. So maybe then you would notice the feeling of fabric or yoga mat or floor on your skin. But if you're able to, we'll go ahead and watch the breath just a few cycles as it is. And without any judgment, can you observe, does the breath seem smooth? Does the breath seem full or a little shallow? You don't have to change anything. You don't have to judge anything. We're just observing neutrally. And now we can start to invite an intentionally more full breath in. So let's keep the belly really soft. You might even move one hand to your belly. And then notice how it already naturally probably expands a bit when you breathe in. And then it draws back a bit as you breathe out. So we'll just expand on that. So belly nice and soft when you breathe in through your nose. Let the breath just float all the way down past your throat, past your chest, to your belly, and the belly expands. It's actually the diaphragm muscle drawing down. And then the breath keeps pouring in. Let your ribs spread out. See if you can breathe into your side body, that side rib cage, and then all the way up to the collarbones, and then eventually letting the breath go. So take this at your own pace. But let's see if we can really intentionally slow down and fill up. See if you can relax your shoulders, your jaw, your face as you do this. And we'll try to just have the major muscles of respiration be working here. So these internal muscles. Belly soft and expanding. Ribs softly spreading out. And everything getting a little softer on the exhale. Do that just another time or two. And while you do, I'll share what we'll work with in our meditation as well as an affirmation you can use for the day. May I be free of ill will towards myself and others. May I be free of ill will towards myself and others. May I be free of ill will towards myself and others. Go ahead and finish the exhale that you're on. And then we'll start waking up the rest of the body, just bringing in a little bit of movement, however it feels natural to you. Good, and with feet on the ground, arms out, however works for you. Let's inhale as we let our legs fall to the left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, bring your knees back to central. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, legs fall to the right side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, legs come back to center. 4, or exhale, sorry. 3, 2, 1. Breathing in, legs to the left. 4. Breathing out, legs to center. 4. Breathing in, legs fall to the right. Breathing out, legs come to center. A couple more times at your own pace, working with Samavriti, equal parts breathing. Once more each side. And then eventually coming back to center. And when you get there, draw your knees in towards your chest. You can bring your hands to your knees or shins. Take a big breath in and out. Next, inhale, stretch your legs long, stretch your arms long up overhead. Exhale, squeeze the core muscles in, draw your knees into your chest. Sweep your arms around to hug your knees. Good, then we'll continue like that. Inhale, stretching your body. Exhale, hugging everything in. You can stay exactly like this, or if it feels like too much, you can take it one leg at a time. If it feels like you've got room for a little bit more effort, you can lift your head off of the ground, tucking your chin towards your chest. So a few more cycles at your own pace, remembering it's always choose your own adventure. All right, we'll all return our head to the ground if we lifted it. Give yourself a recovery breath. Okay, let's make our way upright to a seat. Good, and when you get there, plant your feet on the ground. Hug your core muscles in to help you lift your heart. And let's bring our hands to our shoulders. Keep hugging your core muscles in, lifting your heart. Really think about planting your feet onto the earth. Okay, so this is already a good amount of effort. You might stay just as you are. Maybe you lean back a little bit, keep lifting your heart. And maybe you open your arms out wide, getting a stretch through your arms, through your chest. You can tap one or both hands down to the ground or hold your legs anytime. Let's breathe for 3, 2, 1. Soles of the feet together. Go ahead and fold forward in Baddha Konasana, bound angle. It might feel nice here to sway a little. Maybe stillness is what you like. Notice what's here. Maybe your heart rate elevated, maybe the breathing pattern changed. Just noticing. All right, well, sit up, make your way to tabletop. And here's where hopefully you have some blocks. Remember, we can always get by without the extra stuff, but if you have blocks, let's put them on their middle height, so kind of more narrow height. And then from tabletop, carefully bring your elbows onto those blocks. Don't fall over. All right, and you might walk your elbows forward. Then we're going to press our chest down. So find an angle where this feels good enough for you. And if that is just not happening, that's okay too. You can forget the blocks and come into puppy pose. We'll try to make the blocks work just for getting an extra tricep stretch. And then we also have to kind of work with what is. So I did this yesterday and it felt great. Today, I just cannot find a way that it makes sense for my shoulders. So back to puppy pose. So wherever you are, see if you can really notice where you're feeling stretch. Somewhere in the shoulders and chest, surely. And imagine sending your breath there. See if you can kind of lift out of your low back a little bit. Good, and then we'll go ahead and release. Coming to regular tabletop. When you get there, tuck your toes. Let's hover the knees off of the ground. Really push the ground away through the roots of your fingertips, the roots of your knuckles. Try to lighten your wrists. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs or lengthen the legs, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Give yourself a few breaths here. And then we'll walk our feet up to meet our hands, forward fold. And on your inhale, take your time, rise all the way up. No rush to get there. When you get there, see if you can bend your elbows up overhead, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, maybe it's opposite wrists for your body. And then lift up and over to your right side. So lifting that left elbow up to the sky and come back to center and over to the left side, reaching your right elbow up to the sky and back to center. Inhale, exhale, fold all the way forward and down. Inhaling, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down. Let's step the right foot back and out. Set up for warrior one. When you're ready, rise up. Virabhadrasana 1. You can adjust your stance anytime. So I'm scooting my feet out as wide as the edges of the mat today. Bending into that left knee, stretching your arms up. And then let's interlace our hands and see about bringing them behind our heads. See if you can kind of knit your rib cage in the front in. Engage your core, press your feet down, and then lift your heart up and back any amount. You could imagine pulling those elbows back in space, shoulder blades sliding together. And find a way to let it work well enough for you. Another inhale. And exhale, come to center. Let's move our hands to our low back, giving some support there. Breathing, see if you can try another back bend, lifting your heart. Still drawing elbows and shoulder blades towards each other. Good, then come through neutral. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands all the way to the ground. Step yourself back to plank pose. Inhaling here. Exhaling, lower all the way down. Point your toes back. Inhale, lift your heart, baby cobra. Or maybe you do want to push your hands into the ground, lifting up more. Stay for a couple breaths. You could also lift your chin, stretching your throat. And lower down. Tuck your toes. Press yourself up through tabletop. Keep those toes tucked while you press your hips back, taking child's pose. Big inhale. Exhale, walk your hands over to the right side, just passing through for a breath. And coming back to center, then all the way over to the left side. Stretching out your right side body, breathing in. And breathing out, come back to center. Come through tabletop, then lift your hips, downward facing dog. Another breath or so here. And then let's lift that right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Step or swing it to the top of the mat. Pivot your left heel down, then cartwheel your arms up. So we're coming up to warrior 2. Okay, breathing in warrior 2. You can keep the right knee bent or straighten it, passing through a triangle type shape, and then bending into your right knee again. So your choice. Either way, let's lift the chest and flip our palms to the sky, maybe moving the arms back in space a little. So we're looking for a big stretch through the arms. You could also add some wrist movements. One more slow and steady inhale. And exhale, cartwheel your hands to the top of the mat. Take an inhale again. And exhale, step your left foot up, fold forward. Next inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down. And on your inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Breathing in, we'll stretch up. Breathing out, fold down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down. Hands touch down. We'll step the left foot back and out. Setting up for warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Good. Breathing here. We'll stretch our arms up really energetically. And then bring the hands back behind the head. You could switch the interlace of your fingers, a little less familiar. Imagine pulling those elbows back, shoulder blades together and kind of down. Find a way that works. Lengthen your low back, lift up from your heart. See if you can find a little back bend. One more breath. And when it's time for you to exhale, let's also release the hands. Try bringing them to your low back. Offer yourself a little more support as we find another back bend. Lower body still nice and steady in warrior one. Good. And the next time you exhale, go ahead and bring your hands all the way down to the ground. Step yourself to plank pose. Breathing in. Breathing out, lower all the way down. Point your toes back. Inhale, find cobra pose. Stay for a couple breaths. And lower down when you're ready. Tuck your toes. Push yourself up and back to child's pose with toes tucked. Take an inhale. Exhale, walk your hands over to the left side. Feel a side body stretch. Next inhale, come through center. Exhale, over to the right side. Return yourself to center. Come up through tabletop. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Few breaths here. From here, let's lift the left leg to the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, step or swing left foot to the top of the mat. Pivot your right heel down. Cartwheel your arms up. Virabhadrasana 2 on the other side. Arms outstretched, bending into your left knee, pulsing if you want. You can bend into the left knee and then straighten it. We can also flip our palms towards the sky, bring some movement in through our wrists. Maybe move your arms back in space, really stretching your chest. Big in-breath. And exhale, cartwheel your hands to the ground, facing forward. Breathe out, step your right foot up, forward fold. Inhaling, we'll lift halfway. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. We'll take a couple breaths just to recalibrate, check in with ourselves. So now that we've been moving our bodies a bit, just check in with the depth of your breath. Maybe there's more space available here. When we move and stretch our body, we really stretch these muscles that allow our body to expand when we breathe in. So let's see if we can take a really expansive, slow breath in. Take your time. When you feel full, keep breathing. So pause and then breathe in a little more and a little bit more. And then eventually we let it all go. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. As you get there, you can hook your thumbs and pull your fingertips up a little higher. See about pressing your hips forward, lifting your heart up, pulling your arms back. You can bend the elbows to get there. One more breath. And then we'll slow motion fold forward. Soften your knees generously, draping your torso over your bent legs. And then plant your hands and step yourself back to plank pose. And then go ahead and drop your knees. We'll lower to our forearms now. Maybe we give the blocks another try. I'm not willing to give up yet. So now I've got blocks on the lower setting, forearms resting on the blocks. And you can interlace your hands here too. All right, so we can keep our toes tucked. Imagine lifting your spine up towards the sky. We're lifting up out of our shoulders, pushing the elbows and forearms into the ground or blocks. And then let's try lifting one knee off of the ground and then the other. So now we're in a forearm plank with or without blocks under us. Good, really engage your core. And imagine lifting your spine up to the sky. Push back through your heels. And let's see if we can take one of those slow, full breaths again. Be a little bit harder because our body is working and our core is engaged, so we can't expand the breath quite so much. And when you're ready, exhale. Lower your knees to the ground. Press your hips back. Find your way to your preferred child's pose. Give yourself a couple breaths of recovery here. Good, then we'll slide forward onto our bellies. Push the blocks out of the way if you were also trying to use them with me. And forearms on the ground, elbows under shoulders, tops of your feet pressing into the ground, and I've got my feet out about as wide as the mat. So we're in Sphinx pose here. You can open your hands wide, grip with your fingertips. Imagine pulling your chest forward, pushing the elbows down so there's space between our shoulders and our ears. Good, another breath here in Sphinx pose. And then tuck your toes, lift your hips, lift your spine towards the sky. We are in forearm plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower your hips. Find Sphinx. Inhale and Sphinx. Tuck the toes. Exhale, forearm plank. Push back through your heels. Inhale. Exhale, lower down, Sphinx. Inhale and Sphinx. You can keep your toes tucked if you want. Exhale, forearm plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower down, Sphinx. Pull your heart forward. Inhale there. Exhale, forearm plank. Okay, from here, tiptoe your feet up towards your elbows. So we're coming into dolphin pose. Try to let your head hang really heavy between your elbows and your upper arms. Really push the ground away through your elbows, your forearms, your hands. We're lifting up out of the shoulders. Imagine rooting your elbows into the ground and then pushing it up overhead. So we're pressing our chest towards our thighs. Knees can be really generously bent. Good. This is already a lot. This is enough. Maybe someone out there wants to try lifting their left leg up to the sky. If you do it, take a breath. And if you lifted the left leg, put it back on the ground, left foot, and try lifting the right leg up to the sky. And lower your right foot to the ground. Make your way to child's pose. Take your time. And if you feel like sitting up would be more restorative to you, a better recovery pose, then you might choose that. Give yourself a few breaths. Again, just noticing. Is your breath the same? Has your heart rate changed? Any lingering effects of that physical effort? One more slow breath in. Slow breath out. All right, let's all make our way to our spine. So you might just roll over from wherever you are. Maybe you want to sit up and flip around. But we'll come back to our spine just how we started. Knees bent, feet on the ground. And this time let's push the back of our head into the ground so we can lift our chest, walk our shoulders towards each other under our body. Arms and palms pressed down into the ground. Slowly lift your hips up towards the sky, just passing through one bridge pose. Big inhale. You can really push your hips and glutes up to the sky. When you exhale, go ahead and lower on down. Release your shoulders from under your body. Open your arms out. Let your legs fall to the left side for a slow breath in. And out. Come back through center and then let your legs fall to the right side. Slow breath in. And out. When you feel ready, come back to center. Give yourself anything you need. And then eventually stretch your legs long. Let yourself settle in for Shavasana, for rest. As you're getting cozy here, you can think to yourself, may I be free of ill will towards myself and others. Breathe and rest. Noticing if the mind has been caught up in thoughts. It's a perfectly normal thing, but when we notice it, we just return to what's here now, to this next breath in, this next breath out. As you're ready, you can release your resting practice. We'll make our way to an easy seat. Good. I'm being greeted by dogs, which is just great. All right, if you have time to stay for some metta meditation, then we'll transition right into that. If it's time for you to leave, then a deep bow of gratitude to you. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy. For folks who can stay for meditation, let's get as comfortable and supported as possible. So that might mean leaning up against a wall or a piece of furniture. Maybe it's sitting on a block or a folded blanket. Okay. And as you arrive, you can bring one hand to the heart if that feels okay. If not, just let your hands rest anywhere that does feel okay. And you can let your gaze settle on something in front of you that is pleasant or neutral, or close your eyes. And take a moment here to notice what your hand feels, wherever your right hand is. And then noticing your left hand. Notice your seat. Notice your right foot. And notice your left foot. And come back up to the heart space. And just notice perhaps how this area rises and falls with your breath. No need to force anything here. One more slow breath just as you are. And then we can say to ourselves, may I be free from ill will towards myself and others. May I be free of ill will towards myself and others. May I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be filled with compassion. May I feel kindness toward myself. May I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be filled with compassion. May I feel kindness towards myself. Repeating to yourself one more time. May I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be filled with compassion. May I feel kindness toward myself. Now we can go on to invoke someone else. So perhaps a particular person or animal who we care about. Pick someone who's easy. May they be happy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May they experience love and joy. Holding them in your mind's eye. May they be happy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May they experience love and joy. Holding the feeling of this person or animal in your heart, wishing them well. One more time, may they be happy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May they experience love and joy. Stay with these feelings for a few breaths. Returning again to inwardly loving ourselves. May I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be filled with compassion. May I feel kindness toward myself and others. You can continue with yourself or with a beloved who is easy to send these wishes to. If you feel like today you've got space for it, let's open up this loving kindness, these well wishes towards someone who we are just very neutral with, someone who you don't know well at all. Maybe someone you see when you're out on your walks or at the grocery store, maybe a neighbor's pet. Holding them in your mind's eye. May they be happy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May they experience love and joy. May they be happy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May they experience love and joy. One more time. This person or being who we feel just neutral about, just like us, may they be happy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May they experience love and joy. Softly scanning your awareness through your body, just noticing how things feel. Returning our wishes to ourselves. May I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be filled with compassion. May I feel kindness toward myself. May I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be filled with compassion. May I feel kindness toward myself. Repeating to yourself, may I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be filled with compassion. May I feel kindness toward myself. You can stay with this, or perhaps today it's okay to think of someone who you might have a difficult relationship with. Someone who you know personally or not, but maybe someone who you don't really like to feel sympathy for. And again, let's send them well wishes. May they be happy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May they experience love and joy. thinking of, this difficult person or group of people, may they be happy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May they experience love and joy. May they be happy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May they experience love and joy. Noticing how you're feeling. May I be free from ill will toward myself and others. May I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be filled with compassion. May I feel kindness toward myself and others. We'll sit and breathe with this just a couple more cycles. As you release your meditation practice, just notice how you feel. Might feel good to give yourself a full body stretch here. And then we'll close our time together. If you'd like to chant Om or enjoy a sigh of breath out, let's bring the hands together in front of our hearts, offering ourselves a bow of gratitude for this time well spent. Big inhale if you'd like to chant or sigh. Om. Deep bow of gratitude to you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day out there, and I'll see you tomorrow for our next practice. Thanks for being here.